What's up, everybody? Thanks for tuning in to the channel. Before y'all watch this video, make sure y'all drop a like. I would greatly appreciate it. Also, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Let's get straight into this breakdown on Nas 100. Today is a Monday. Okay, so I'm gonna do a top-down analysis for you guys today, starting on a daily chart. Okay, so the plan for me is always very simple. All right. Now, what I normally do is I look at the previous day highs. Okay, that's normally the first thing you always want to do. Look at the previous day highs and lows. Okay, sometimes you can even do the previous 2 or 3 days. So I'm looking at the previous day high and I'm looking at the previous day low. Now, the question that always comes to my mind is this: which side do you think the market will want to go for first? For example, if I'm looking at the previous day high, do I think that the market is going to want to go up there and go over that high first? Okay, because that's where buy-side liquidity is. If you don't know what that is, like I tell you guys on every video, go to ICT's channel. Make sure y'all check out his concepts, check out his education. That's how I learned. I think it's some really priceless stuff over there. So if the market is going over a previous day high, that's where the buy-side liquidity is resting. If it's going over a previous day low, that's where sell-side liquidity is resting, okay? So that's what I was looking at this morning. And I was in the mindset of, I believe that the market is going to want to go for the highs first. And the reason why I was looking at that is because, as you guys can see on the 4-hour chart, we have a fair value gap right here that we're looking at. The market is currently respecting this 4-hour fair value gap. And then we also had a 1-hour fair value gap last Friday that the market decided to respect. Now, when you see this happening, the market is obviously uptrending. We're uptrending on the higher time frame, the daily, the 4-hour, the weekly. So this is going to give me every reason to believe that the market is going to still want to go up before it comes down. Now, we're currently at like all-time highs right now, but I still believe that the market is going to, at the very least, want to go up before it come back down. I'm not saying that it's just going to go up and up and up and keep going up. I don't know that. Okay, but what I'm looking for is for buy side to be taken, but before it comes back down. If you guys look at my chart, you will see that 5-minute time frame and that 1-minute time frame within that 1-hour fair value gap at the bottom of the screen. Last Friday, the market left those fair value gaps open. So what I would like to see is the market will eventually want to go back into that imbalance. Now, if you're learning ICT, you know, the thing you always want to see before you see like a big move like this is daily lows or daily highs to be swept. Okay, so what does that mean? You want to see the price go above the previous day high before you see it drop down into that 5-minute fair value gap or that 1-minute fair value gap. Okay, so as you guys can see right here, there's a 10-minute fair value gap on my screen right now. Price is currently respecting this fair value gap. It is 9:27. The market is almost getting ready to open, and I'm looking at this 10-minute fair value gap because currently the market is respecting this. So we could just very well see the market go into this 10-minute fair value gap, come back down and drop down into this 4-hour fair value gap. And then after it, forms some type of support in this 4-hour fair value gap, we could see it go up there and reach for the previous day's high. Okay, so that's one analysis that I have so far of what could happen. Now, obviously, I'm going to wait. I'm not going to, if that happens, right, say it goes into the 10-minute fair value gap and then it sells off into the 4-hour fair value gap, I'm not just going to buy as soon as it goes into that 4-hour fair value gap. What I will do is I will wait to see how price wants to respect that fair value gap first, because you never really know what can happen. Okay, so sometimes you have to wait for the market to show its hand. Then when the market show its hand, then that's when you take the trade. And if you don't know what that looks like, well, go to ICT channel, the Inner Circle Trader, and study some of his content, because he will teach you plenty of different ways to read the market so you can know exactly what the market is trying to tell you to do, because the market is speaking to you every day. You're just not listening, and you don't have the tools to understand that language yet. But, maybe hopefully you can come to my channel and we can grow together over here. But if my screen is too small or whatever else, that's why I always tell you guys, go to ICT's channel. I'm telling you guys this on every video because, I wish I had somebody who directed me in the right direction, because this is almost my 5th year trading, and I had a lot of bad information out there to begin with. So the market is currently opening right here, and what I'm waiting for is, will the market continue to respect this 10-minute fair value gap, or will it start to come back, or will it just blow right past it and go straight to the previous day's high? Now, normally I don't like to trade as soon as the market open, but I'm reading price right here, and it was kind of like making me lean towards a sell, because as I just told you guys, I wanted to see the market come back down either into that 4-hour fair value gap or the 1-hour fair value gap that's on my chart. Okay, that red box that was on my chart, that was the 1-hour fair value gap. Okay, so as you guys can see right now, the market is having some reactions off of that 10-minute fair value gap. Now think about this: 9:30 opening, there's a lot of volatility. There's a lot of volatility at 9:30. So if this fair value gap was going to be blown through, it would have happened already. So with that information, that gave me the confidence to say, okay, you know what? I'm going to start looking to maybe take a sell into this 4-hour fair value gap. Now, obviously, the market is uptrending. So if you're a beginner trader, my advice to you is only look for buys. But me, I was taking what the market was giving me. Okay, remember, I just said I'm listening to what the market is telling me. Now, you guys can see that I wasn't in a rush to do anything just yet. But after I seen it happen about 2 or 3 times where the market went into this 10-minute fair value gap, I opened up my chart and I said, you know what? This may be an easy sell right here for a scalp. Okay, so I wanted to have bigger expectations for this trade, but I was very busy during this trade, and I didn't really want to hold it for too long. So when it gave me my move, I just took what I took. I didn't want to get gritty, and I left. And I feel like that's something that a lot of you guys struggle with. Another thing that I'm doing right here, you guys, I'm managing my risk properly. Okay, so I know that my stop loss is about 50 points or so. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to scale into my position, because have you ever just got into a position and then it started moving towards your stop really fast? Well, that's why it's best to scale in, because if that happens, now you're in with 1/3 of your original risk. So let's say if you're risking 1%, okay, if you're scaling in at 1/3 of a percent, and as soon as you get in, the market starts going to your stop loss, you're only losing 1/3 of a percent. You're not going to keep adding into that trade. Well, at least hopefully you're not, right? So that's what I have been doing with my 100K Prop Firm Challenge. And since I've been doing that, I've had such good results. So that's pretty much what I did, you guys. I scaled into this position. I was, waiting to see what was going on. And this trade, in my opinion, was very beautiful, because this trade had only took 3.5 minutes. So just imagine, right? I know this is a prop firm account, right? The money is not real yet, but I want you guys to use your imagination. Imagine if you're doing this with a real account and you make, 20 points in 3.5 minutes. Whatever dollar amount that is for you, but just imagine that. And that's why I trade the way I do, because everybody always wants the big swings. Everybody want to make 100 points, 50 points, 80 points. But the reality is you don't need that to be profitable as a trader. Now, when the setup is as clear as day and I feel like I can get in that trade and it's giving me 100 points within, a decent amount of time, because I'm a very impatient trader, then yes, I'll try to hold for those bigger moves, okay? But I want you guys to pay attention to what just happened right there. Look at how high price went into that fair value gap on a 10-minute, and I'm not worried. The only thing that's going to make me worry is if price close above that 10-minute fair value gap. If price was to close above, then I would just immediately close the trade. So even though I'm risking about 50 points on each position, I can feel comfortable with these trades because I know what I'm looking for. So if the market closes above, I'm closing everything immediately, and the most I'll lose is maybe 15 to 20 points on each position, which is about still under 1% on a 100K account. Okay, if you guys want me to do more videos on risk to reward, I will happily do them. Just leave comments down below so I can know what you guys want me to talk about or what you guys want me to cover, because a lot of these things are very basic, but you have to have discipline to actually execute and do it every day, day in, day out, day in, day out. So I believe at this moment I have about 3 positions on the trade. And as you guys can see, it's starting to pull into my direction. Now, it's 9:36. And this price action isn't really something that I like to see. When I'm reading price, I'm looking at everything. I have a mental note of everything. How fast is price moving after I get in? Great, I got into the trade. Price is moving in my direction. Perfect. That's going to make me be a little bit more patient with this trade. Now, if I got into the trade and the opposite happened, then I'll be quick to close it. And I feel like that's something that a lot of beginner traders struggle with. And I know this for a fact because I struggled with that for years. There were so many times I would get into a trade and the trade is telling me, hey, this is a losing trade. And I'm moving my stop loss around. I'm sitting there, I'm hanging around because I don't want to lose that, I don't want to lose that trade. But eventually, with experience and time, you will realize losses come with the game, okay? You're going to learn how to just cut losses extremely fast because you're going to eventually learn how to get those losses back, and it's not going to worry you as much when it comes to taking a loss. You're not going to be as worried. I'm almost on my I think this is like my 11th green day right now. So when you can have, multiple green days or multiple, green trades, you're not going to really worry about those times you take a loss unless you're over leveraging. Now, if you're over leveraging, that's a different story. Nobody can help you if you're over leveraging. It don't matter if you're trading ICT. It don't matter if you're looking at Swaggy P strategy or Lambo Raul. It really doesn't matter. If you're over leveraging, you're not going to win, and it's just as simple as that. I know everybody wants to buy the prop firm and complete it with one trade. They want to buy the prop firm account and complete it in 1 week and 2 weeks. My advice to you guys is to take your time with your prop firm challenges, right? So I'm showing you guys the trade right here. You guys can see that I'm floating in profits. I would have loved to have seen this price action just drop and just go straight down to the 4-hour fair value gap. Give me my money and I would have been out of there because I'm very impatient, and especially when I'm busy throughout my day. So as you guys can see, I'm closing profits right here. I'm selling as it's going down. All right, that's something that I learned from trading penny stocks. I'm selling into strength. The market has given me 20 plus points. I'm happy with that. Okay. So, I close my trade and that's that. Now, what I want to do is give you guys an update on how this trade played out later on throughout the day. Like I told you guys, I want you guys to keep this in mind, right? My goal was just to sell it within this 4-hour fair value gap. I knew that it could have possibly went into that 1 hour fair value gap, but I wasn't going to hold for that because I didn't have the time to sit there and watch my phone for that amount of time. Now, if it would have did it within like 10 or 15 minutes, fantastic. I would have been in there. I would have rolled it down. I would have made 100 plus points. But I knew that a bigger move like that would take time. So I pretty much knew that I wasn't going to be in there for that trade, you guys. So I want to just give you guys the update on what happened. And I'll fast forward to, later on in the day to kind of like just show you guys how the trade played out. But I also want to just do like more technical analysis with you guys. And I'm showing you this price action right here is because this is when I got out the trade. And, sometimes I like to look and see if I was right, if I was wrong. You see it started to go down a little bit more, but this price action isn't giving me what I want. What I would have wanted to see if I was going to hold on to this trade is I would have wanted to see price go below that low, which was like very fast. So that low that it can't break right there, I would have wanted to see it just go right through that. And if it would have done that, I would have been holding on for a little while longer. Okay. But when price struggles to break lows, that's a immediate sign that this is going to be a struggle of a move. Now, it doesn't mean that you're on the wrong side. It just means that you have to know yourself, okay, and sometimes just take your money or take a little something off the table so you can reward yourself. Okay, but me, like I said, I was busy, so I took everything off the table. Okay, now let's go into the later on in the day. I want to show you guys what happened with the market, and then we'll just wrap this video up there. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys the 4-hour chart. Now, as you guys can see, from the 10-minute fair value gap where we got in at, the market, it kept going. Now, obviously, like I said, even if I was holding on to the trade, I was only going to hold on to that 4-hour fair value gap. Okay, I wasn't going to hold down into that 1 hour fair value gap where you guys see the price wicked into. Now, pay attention, right? There's a 1 hour fair value gap, and there's also a order block sitting right there, right? Notice how it went all the way down, way past the 4-hour fair value gap, but on the 4-hour chart, the 4-hour candle still closed above the 4-hour fair value gap, which means that 4-hour fair value gap is still valid. So the price just wanted to go down into an order block and also go down into a 1 hour fair value gap and then price back up higher, you guys. So these type of strategies are how you get your wick entries. So when you learn ICT concepts, this is how you become like a very precise with your entries. I mean, we talking about very precise, but everything that he teaches, I can't teach it in one video, you guys. So just make sure y'all hit the subscribe button, like this video, because I want to learn and grow together as a community. Thanks for watching. I hope everybody have a good day.